Hey everybody, welcome to Fiberglass Friday again. So what's a lock-on? What's a fiberglass lock-on? It's probably one of the most common worst things that can happen to you when you're making a mold. And I know we've covered this on a few other series, but I just think it's really important to talk about these fiberglass plugs or whatever plug. Other people use other things. If you see them on the internet, whatever works for you, that's great. But I'm just going to show you what I'm comfortable with here. A lock-on is when you've done, I see I've got these two identical models here. And I did this on purpose the other day, was I made a one-piece backer for this one, knowing that it was going to lock on. And I'm going to show you why. The only reason I got it off was the only time you can take that off within about 40 minutes, and so it's really quite warm and fairly soft, and you can get it, you can peel it off with a bit of force. You can get out. If you would let this set overnight and let that really cure, you'll never get that off. You're going to be using a saw or a Dremel with a diamond bit to try and peel this guy right off here. So I'm just going to take that back here so you can see. So where the lock-in is right down here by her feet. Now can you see how that's got a negative draft, like it's sloping away from the heel? So that back area back there is where it's going to catch, and your glass will not release. It's going to catch down here, and it's going to catch down in here and off the heel back here. So how do you avoid that and still make a nice one-piece backer for it? Like we've discussed before, all you're going to do is in the problem area is you're just going to lay in one piece of glass, like a single layer of glass. You can go double if you want. Try not to get into an uncompromising way where you're going to get it to lock in again. Just make it small that it's going to come off of that area. So then you come up with something like this, right? Sorry, better hold this one up, is better. So you got this little single shell right here. Then you're going to fill it up with some spray foam insulation, let it cure overnight, and then the next day you can see just this stuff here, just trim off with a knife, with a utility knife or what, trim off the area. You can even give it a quick sand with an electric sander to give it a basic shape, what's going to look nice into your lock-on spot there. So here's one I did this morning. So it was just a single layer, and then I've put one layer of glass over the top. It might have been like 2 layers actually on this one. So then I'm just going to show you quick. I usually don't do this, so I thought I'd do one where I'd actually demo what I do. Normally when you're cutting glass and sanding glass, you'd wear long sleeve shirts. My shirt, it just looks kind of messy, so I decided to go without it. So just bear with me while I'm just going to give it a quick trim in the sand. There we go, that's just a rough. Just a rough there. Now I'm going to take an electric sander. You can use, I've got an Air one too, with a 60 grit or an 80 grit, something a little bit aggressive, and just give it a go over with the sander. There we go, pretty quick. As my friend in New Zealand says, it's like making a little pie. It's like a little pie crust top. So now I like to, as you can see, I sand inside as well too, just quick. Then you want to give it a little dusting of talcum powder. And then we're gonna line this up, and there we go. So now you can see that's sitting in there, perfect. So now what that allows you to do is to glass one piece right over the top of that, and you won't have a, so it's gonna look like this, but it's gonna have a bulge to match this. So then you can just get away with a one piece. If you didn't, you'd have to do all different sections to get that to pull out area. So now that's how you do a one piece there like that. So I hope that helps gang out for trying something like that. So what I've got behind me, here's a bigger version too. This is a log planter, and this is a really large plug that's going to go inside. So I can do the same thing. I'll just show you really quick. I trimmed one side up already, you can see. So I'll just trim the other side up fast. So that's a Dremel with a little diamond cutter end on the end there. So that's it. So I've pre-put some baby powder into the void where it's going to be laying. And then we'll just give it a little sprinkle. I do this before every time I set it up for a concrete pour too. I do the same thing every single time. So there you can see. I can move this camera a little closer now. There we go. So there you can see, so that's your plug, and there's the deep void inside. So now that's a perfect match. So now when I do my glass, I can just do a straight seam up the top to pull off, and no interference and no fussing around. I just think it's the easiest plug there is out there. You can use the foam, like I said before, the medium or high density foam flexed from Smooth On. But for something this size, I think you're going to get a lot of distortion because there's a lot of concrete going in here and it's going to be really heavy. So you have to gear up and go to something this size of a plug. So that works really well. So I want to show you one other thing. I've been sort of showing it in a few videos of late, and I'll just show you the final result. I'm just going to move some stuff off the table here. So I'm going to be talking about my leaf bench mold. So here it is. It's all finished, finally. Finished off yesterday. I've still got to put a few more bolts in it. It's a bit of a beast, this thing. So here's the urethane. Here's the urethane filler. Actually, what I'll do is I'll take the camera right off and give you a close-up. So there you can see inside. Looks really nice. Turned out really good. It needs a bit of a wash, but it's a little too cold. It's still like -3 or 4 outside. So I can take it out and give it a good little wash. But it came out really nice. I'm really pleased how it looks. I'll pull this out so I can show you the actual mold itself. It's 3 pieces. Very heavy. Very very heavy duty. So it's got two sides, two separate side pieces, and the top. And then I've got the 2x4s glassed right in. I think we talked about it a little bit ago, a couple of videos ago. So while your mold is still inside, while your model, the concrete model I had, is when you put the glass on. So the reason you're putting the glass on is sometimes in a large mold, they can twist and kink, and you don't want that happening, or else you can never level out your mold. You know what I mean? Your bench, you go to smooth it out, you go to screed it and smooth it out, and you're always going to have a bit of a twist in it, and you don't want that. It just won't work. It'll look goofy on the top, and the sides won't look right. So that's why it's really important to reinforce it, either with some rebar or put these 2x4 legs on. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to pour it in another month or so. We'll see how it goes. I've still got some big ones to do. But that's it for this week, everybody. I hope you actually, you know what? I'm just going to give you one more quick tip. Hang on there. So I just want to show you a quick tip with the, let's go here. A quick tip. So if you're making your foam plugs or you're spraying the insulation inside, you don't have to. You can actually fill it with anything you want as long as you can get glass on the top. But somebody said to me once, they said, but aren't you wasting so much of your foam? So what you do, as soon as you've sprayed, just take a cap full of acetone and just put a little bit down the top spout of the spray foam, and then take off the directional thing for spraying the nozzle, and up here do the same. Just pour a few drops of acetone in the top, get your air hose, give it a quick spray, and it's good to go. You're good to use. Just put this back on, everything's clear. If you just put it back, this is all going to seal up solid, and so is the little black nozzle. So you can use it over and over and over again, so you're not buying a stupid can of spray foam every time you want to do one of those glass plugs. So anyway, it's a great little tip. And everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Friday.